there's like a buzzing sound. Just ignore her. Ignore her. Bzzz. Wow, what's up, rebels? My name's Willie. I am one half of Leo and Willie. We are engaged, we are queer, and today I am here to give you an update on where I've been, what's happened since I have had the 2 weeks off, and am I doing okay? What's the status of this channel? Will I be returning? Is this my final video? Am I saying goodbye? Or are we continuing? All that stuff, you know? I kind of left and then just sort of left. Which is fine, by the way. If you aren't feeling good, please just leave. Go get your space, go process, go do what you need to do to feel better for yourself. Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. In the Matilda tune, sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. Do 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 do. Yeah, that. We've got a decent amount to talk about, and this is going to be completely unscripted. Got to update you all, friends, so without further ado, let's get into it. So after posting my video, what happened? Where did I go? Am I with Leo? So I was supposed to be with Leo today, as in literally today, and I couldn't fly. I could not fly. Which is very overwhelming. If I'm in the UK, I'm technically homeless and technically sofa surfing. There's a lot happening. And it was a very overwhelming process for me to understand for myself. You know, I felt very scared, very uncomfortable. Oh no, what's going to happen next? And then something else happened where I felt this relief, just a little bit of relief. And I'll explain why. So when I came to the UK, I had access to free healthcare, which is great. It meant that on the day I think I came back, I could call up a doctor and I received all my medication for free. I received 4 months worth of antidepressants, all to the right dose, sleeping pills to help with the sleeping issues. All of that stuff was sorted. There was no back and forth with, like, you know, insurance or can you actually afford to be okay? Like, it was none of that, and that was good. I went to a place which, you know, I won't name or anything like that, mainly just to, you know, because I don't need to, and also just to protect the people who are still there, which was okay. And I mean this to throw no shade or anything, because one of the people who are there happens to be a fan of Leo and Willie, which is wild. That's very wild. It's a place that is specifically for LGBT people. So that did increase the chances of someone knowing us, but I just didn't expect it. And so please know that I am not shaming this place at all. I will just say that I did not leave this place better, but a lot worse. That's the best thing I can say. I definitely started there so good, and then it just became a bit too much, and by the end I had a personal mental break again, and I just had to leave. It wasn't great. The day I left was a very manic day. I worried all my friends. You know, it wasn't great, and I basically would never go back to that specific space again because it was just incredibly triggering for me. I think, you know, just the way I was raised, the sort of people that were in my environment, I think having that back again just around me in that space wasn't great for me. And that's not anybody who I met fault, by the way. The people who are there are awesome. The people who run it, well, they got an email. They got an email from me. And that's all I'll say. And yeah, that wasn't good because, you know, it's a place that should help people, and I just felt that it has a little bit more work to do. And I won't name the place, I won't do anything like that, because if I do and people, you know, go and do something weird and like try and leave bad reviews, I don't want any of that. Then it could actually hinder that progress. So I have faith. I'm sure that with time and with my email, you know, it's at least a catalyst, it's a starting point, and conversations will continue without me. And I can only hope that everyone who's still there or attached to that just work to make everyone feel safe and happy. I can just say that when I left, I definitely was not. I did leave and I went to sofa surf on one of my best friend's house. Just gonna name you Cav, thank you so much. For the first 2 days I was with Cav, I didn't even really speak to her. There was a point where she came into her own living room and I walked out to cry in the garden because I just didn't want to be around anyone seeing me emotional. I wasn't very talkative. I imagine I was probably making her uncomfortable in her own home. It wasn't great, it was not great, but by day 3 and 4, mwah, best days ever. Honestly, we had such a great time. We just did so many great things, so many bonding things that really reminded me why I love the UK, for number one, and why I love being around my friends, and friends that like remind me of me and feel like me and sound like me. And that's not something I've necessarily had yet in Texas. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy Texas, because we happen to live in one of the coolest places in Texas. It's also one of the most gayest places in Texas. It's so bizarre. So there's definitely community there as well. But I just know I felt different being here. That's what I can say. And I'm still here. I am still here, and I don't know if I will ever go back there. Leo's currently planning on coming here. I hope I do. I know this is bizarre. It sounds wild. Willie, we just saw you in a video, Gays in a Day's Life. What do you mean you're not going back there? Well, that was filmed before, and I've had to do some real self-reflection. And a lot of that self-reflection, it means I have to really get down to the nitty-gritty of how I feel, how things around me are impacting my life, and can I sustain on the long term by compromising things that don't necessarily make me feel happy. And I don't think I was happy there. That buzzing though, buzz. I don't think I was happy there. And that's not to say that I can't be happy there or I haven't had amazing experiences there. It just doesn't quite add up to how I feel being around home, being here. And so I'm here. What the hell does that mean for Leo and Willie? Well, it means that Leo and Willie will still continue. It means that we will still do videos together. The hope is that Leo comes to the UK, because it's, you know, Leo's American, but he spent most of his like formative years here. You know, he spent 6 years, I think, of his life here. And it's like, for him, this is home. And so he misses being here as well. And so I just think it's not for us. There's a lot of things happening with Trump right now. I can't, there's no version of things where I want to get a green card and marry Leo quick so I can be an American citizen, is what I'm saying. And that's not because I don't like America, you know, I have family there. It's just because that's not where home is for me. And home is where Leo is, but I realize that that's still a compromise on my end because I'm not necessarily happy there. And what did ensue whilst I wasn't at home was just survival mode of trying to keep Leo alive, trying to keep myself alive, having to make difficult choices, antidepressants or testosterone, that often really just fell on my head. I was just doing way too much, and no, it's not something I can do anymore. It's not something I can sustain on the long term. It's not something that's healthy for me. And so I've had to be really like focused on me and go, well, what actually makes me happy? Well, what's making me sad? And I've had conversations with my other best friend who I'm currently with, Trisha. And, you know, we had a good conversation, and I opened up to her about things that I only really Leo knows. And it's not mainly about childhood trauma. It's where all the depression really stems for me. And it was good to talk about it. And through talking about it, I forgot I was diagnosed with PTSD. Guys, what? I know, what? I don't even know, like, I don't know. So I was diagnosed with PTSD and clinical depression, and I forgot. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I forgot I had PTSD. I almost repressed my PTSD, which is a big thing about PTSD, is that repression is a huge one. And so, you know, I was talking to my friend, she was like, you know, it sounds like you got PTSD. Oh, no, she didn't say it sounds like you got PTSD. She was like, it's the PTSD. And I was like, PTSD? So you got PTSD? It's just really odd for someone to just say it. But she was around when I was getting diagnosed. And so, yeah, I looked at my forms and I was like, oh, I do have that. I should probably do something about that. And I was supposed to. And I got very distracted what? I know. I got very distracted because, you know, here comes monster-in-law taking up and occupying so much of our mental energy. And it's just moving and surviving, and it's not, by the way, you have PTSD and you need to deal with that. And so that's something that I'm making as a commitment to myself, is to deal with where I'm actually at, to deal with childhood trauma, to deal with all of that, to unlearn all of that. Another thing that I'm going to do for myself is to be really honest and open about the capacity I have, not for the channel, but for Leo and Willie as a concept. And that sounds really crazy, but just work with me, okay? Leo and Willie, we are a couple. We love each other. As a channel, we suddenly become a brand, you know, because we're getting paid for it. It's work now. And I know, and I imagine everyone knows, Leo would be the first one to say, is that I can work a lot more than Leo does. And it means that I'm drained a lot of the time, or I'm helping create his content, edit his content, whilst also trying to create my own. And it's just too much. It's too much. But when I was sofa surfing before, I produced the Calvin Garrard deep dive and Ariel deep dive, and it somehow happened within 3 weeks, and I had all this energy, and I recognized something that, I mean, me and Leo already know, which is I like working by myself, and that doesn't really work on a couples channel, does it? I know. My favorite videos to watch are Leo and Willie's, are the couple stuff, because it brings me joy, and it's like this memorializing some of our cute moments. It's like, yeah, I can go watch him whenever I miss him, right? But my favorite to film are ones when I'm by myself. And that's something that Leo's always known. And that's something I've always known. And I think the reason why is because me and Leo just work differently. And I'm way more anal. Like, I'm chill, but I'm anal. Like, we got shit to do, let's get it done. That's me. And Leo isn't as anal. There is more laid backness towards the YouTube, and I want to do it full time. And I think that's a difference. That's a big difference just to start with. And it's a real difference. It's not a bad difference. It's just a difference, right? It's recognizing that, okay, we both have different stakes in this. I really care. You really care, but you don't have the capacity to care. And I don't have the capacity to care when I'm caring for both of us. So what I'm going to do is care for myself. I will be producing my own videos, which is something that I do anyway. And it's something that I actually really enjoy doing. I love thinking of my own videos. I love talking about like my subjects that actually personally drive me, whether it's transphobia, homophobia, racism, mental health, whatever it is. I love those subjects. I love talking about it. I like creating a space for people to talk and unite. And I don't have capacity to do that if I'm consistently also editing other work and thinking about other work and trying to breathe that life into, you know, the other half of Leo and Willie. And that's not to say that Leo is not as focused. That's just not the truth. But Leo has more physical work, if that makes sense. So he goes out and does work. And so to come back in and then try and match my energy is also really unfair on him. And that's a conversation that I don't think either of us have really had. But I know that it strained me out. And so if you guys will have me, I really would love to just continue doing my own things. I would love it. You know, there was a talk with me and Leo ages ago when we already had a conversation like this, because trust me, anything we say, we've said, you know, where I said, you know, I don't know if I want my own channel. I don't know if it's that I need to go somewhere else, or whether I just need to do more independently, because I really want that level of independence. Actually, independence is quite important to me. And I'm sure some of you can understand when you're struggling financially and all these things are kind of like out of your control, it's quite nice to at least have some level of independence and not necessarily be completely reliant on this person or have that person completely reliant on you. And so I think the way YouTube needs to work, just for where my capacity is at now, is that I need to do my own thing and Leo needs to do his own thing. We are still obviously very heavily like involved in each other's work, of course. I know what video's coming up next for Leo's, for example, because, you know, we spoke about it together. The thumbnail I already designed, so it's not like we're not talking. It's just that it doesn't work right now where I am at and how much he's doing. It does not work, and it's meaning we're both losing, and that's not okay. Especially because I'm actually passionate. I'm genuinely really passionate. I don't speak about a lot of things. I don't speak about feeling down a lot of the time. I don't do that. And for some reason, I can do that with you. I can do that. And I feel confident just talking to this camera and knowing that if someone writes something and they're a little bit dickish, that's probably a them problem. But in reality, there are at least 97% of the comments that are understanding, that are able to have really engaging conversations, to challenge me, to make me think outside of my worldview. And I love that. I genuinely love it. And sorry, I know I keep looking over there. There's nothing interesting going on. It's just like the corner of something's a bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like I could do so much better if I just focused on me for a bit. And that feels hard to say. I know it feels really weird. I'm not the sort of person who will ever say I want to focus on just me. That's not me at all. I've never been that person, but I really want to. And also I think I need to. I think I need to focus on me, because I think for about 2 years now, it's been about trying to exist alongside abuse, trying to exist or run away from abuse or stop ourselves being stalked. And it's like, okay, pause. What's happening in my life as an individual, away from my partner, and of course all the things that he carries, I carry, because we are one, but also I am an individual and I still need to exist on my own path and do my own things. And so I'm really excited to hopefully come back to the channel and do my own things, just my things. I want to have fun chats, I want to have silly chats, I want to have sad chats, I want to have it all. I don't want to highlight reel. I've never wanted to highlight reel. I want you to be able to just see real people going through real things and trying to get through it, because that's all we're all trying to do. Every human is just trying to get through it, right? And I'm not saying it like some people are thriving and not just trying to get through, but like we're all just trying to get through and make the best out of what we have. And so for me, I know that I can only do that if I start maybe taking some more time to focus on me. And it's bizarre. I don't do that, I swear to you. My best friend even said, I wish you always have this energy for me, you always have this fight for me. I wish sometimes you would have it more for yourself. And she's right. I don't necessarily put myself first, and I will give my jumper to someone else. I'm that person. And I haven't always been that person, don't get me wrong. You know, there's things that have happened in my life that have made me who I am now, and I want to unlearn some stuff. I want to unlearn shame. I want to unlearn queer shame again. You know, I'm not saying I feel shame about being queer, but there is still something there attached to my family, attached to my childhood trauma, you know, all these things that I need to go and do the work for, you know, via therapy, via free accessible online things like YouTube, because there are therapists on YouTube now, which is great, by the way, very accessible. He's over there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much an update. How am I doing mentally? Do I still want to die? Sorry, I'm sorry, that's not funny. No, I do not want to die. And I'm sorry that I had to think about that, but I want to encompass everything that's happened and be like honest about that journey. Something I don't need to do, but I actually enjoy doing it. I enjoy the transparency that I offer here, because it's not a transparency I actually offer anywhere else. And it's so healing. It's incredibly healing. Thank you for listening if you got this far, by the way. But yeah, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to die. I want to live. I am still obviously dealing with depression. It's something that will come and go and come and go, and I will continue to just fight. And some days will be harder than others, you know. On the day I left that home was another attempt, unfortunately. It was really bad. And I'm back and forth on my mental health. And I think just taking a time away from, you know, just being there for everyone else and taking a second to just be there for myself, which is what yo, come on, just arrest me. Ugh, just arrest me. Kaka. But yeah, I think being with my best friends, two people who will always just like instantly try and make life easier for me because they know my situation and I've been quite transparent with them, and having me be at the center of me again and having them really push for me to break and just not break like but like take a break and breathe more and just sit in the moment more and think about what I need and try to get through my day instead of thinking about, can I get these meds for Leo? Can I get this for this? Can I get this for that? Can I get that for that? Just, can you do something for you? And that's something I'm going to do better at. So yeah, I'm coming back, babies. I'm definitely coming back. And I'm coming back with some good content. I have been thinking about stuff, you know, I've taken this time to pause. I've still been editing behind scenes, you know what I mean? But I have got some ideas, and I feel more excited about these ideas knowing that they're from me, and I just get to do my own work. And sometimes, unfortunately, just because of how mine and Leo's life is currently, is I tend to write a lot of stuff for Leo, and I'm kind of tired of it. And that's not his fault, trust me, it's not. This is not a Leo Cleo sorry, it's not like that. It's just me having to be honest with myself of like, hey girl, sometimes you do too much, just breathe, it's okay. Like, Leo is well capable of doing stuff, and I think it'll be good for the both of us to just produce our own content for a bit, see what really drives us as individuals. And when we find that buzz and that excitement again as individuals, then we come back together and we enhance each other, but we're not necessarily taking energy from each other or taking each other's content. It's just, we know what we are as individuals, and when we come together, magic, you know what I mean? I want to say that I saw the messages and the comments that were left on the video that I put up, and I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who took a second to, even if you didn't watch it, just remind me that I can keep going. You all saved me. You all kept me going. You were all my pockets of joy, and I couldn't be more grateful if I tried. I'm so grateful to you, and I don't really have the words to express it, but it's so real. Like, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. That concludes the end of the video, and I think what would be good is, you know, comment what you want to see Leo do, comment what you want to see Willie do as two separate people, and we will be doing content together. That's definitely still happening, but for now we just need some time to really find what we as individuals love about this channel and what inspires us. And I know I got some good stuff coming. That's all I'm gonna say. There is going to be all I'm going to say is, if you've been to jury service before, you'll be going to jury service again. All right, drink water, eat cruise. Love you very much. Goodbye.